What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for coming through, much appreciated. Remember, please hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. For those that are coming back to watch another video, thank you very, very much. Alright, let's talk man of the moment. I've said this before, people say, oh, you're an AJ fanboy, blah, 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 rubbish. I think the biggest name in boxing right now, and that's even including Canelo. All Canelo fans, hit me up if you want. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather retiring, Pacquiao kind of semi-retired, Cotto retiring at the end of the year. I think AJ is arguably the biggest name in boxing. We're talking a guy that's 20 fights in. I think this will be his 20th fight against Carlos Takam, and I mean, he sold out Wembley 90,000. He's going to sell out the Principality Stadium 80,000 tickets have already sold out. You can't get a ticket now, I don't think. That's ridiculous numbers, people. That ain't a joke. That's not a joke. I know big superstars in boxing, or so-called big superstars in boxing, that can't sell out small arenas. I'm talking 4,000 or 5,000 seater arenas, and this guy's done it now already. Anyway, let's get to the point. I saw an interview with Eddie Hearn and Fight Hub TV. I think most of you might have seen it. If not, we'll talk about it now very quickly. And he was asked a couple of questions. One of them that really just like, what the fuck, Eddie, was he was talked about the potential for Anthony Joshua to fight Deontay Wilder next year, which almost contradicts what Anthony Joshua was saying. Anthony Joshua was saying the fight will happen in 2020. Eddie Hearn obviously just wants the money. He's talking about the fight potentially happening next year. What he did say, which I thought was ridiculously cheeky and rude, but again, we're talking to Eddie Hearn here, he said he would like Wilder to fight White. I repeat that. Deontay Wilder, WBC champion, unbeaten. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of Wilder. I don't think his resume is that great, but regardless, he's unbeaten. He's WBC heavyweight champion of the world, and he has been for, what, 2 and a bit years now. He wants him to fight Dillian White, who's not beaten anybody. And people say, oh, Addy, you give Dillian White too much stick. Regardless, he wants him to fight Dillian White, and the winner fight AJ. Because AJ, for somehow or some godly reason, is up there, and Deontay Wilder's up here with Dillian White, down here with Dillian White, and it's some sort of semi-final to fight the god that is AJ. That's bullshit. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a duck. That, ladies and gentlemen, is trying to promote your fight at Dillian White to, for some reason, get a title shot against someone when he doesn't even deserve one. Look, I understand that he's got the prize, which is AJ, and the money bag, which is AJ, but that's not how it works. And then he talks about the splits. He said that the stumbling block in terms of the fight's not happening, and I'll put Parker to the side. We mentioned Parker, I'll put Parker to the side here, is that Deontay Wilder is going to want a 50-50 split with Anthony Joshua, and he said that that can't happen. That just can't happen. That AJ is obviously the bigger name, AJ is the bigger draw, and but Deontay Wilder is going to think that I'm a WBC champ, I'm the man as well, it should be a 50-50 split. I can understand, if they were, as a boxing fan, I just want it as a 50-50 split because I think that both are champions and both bring something to the table in terms of their belts, right? And the WBC is a big belt, so I get that. But in terms of, if it was to look at it on paper, statistically and financially, I can understand what Eddie Hearn's saying. People might say, Eddie, shut up, but it's true. You're talking about a guy that, I know it was with Klitschko, but they're talking about him doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys for Klitschko. I think he done 400,000 plus for Dillian White, and I'm guessing he done those kind of numbers as well for Brazil, Molina, and even Charles Martin, and probably will do something similar, if not bigger, for Carlos Takam. So we're talking about a guy that guarantees you big pay-per-view numbers. I don't know what Deontay Wilder does. I'm not even sure if Deontay Wilder's fight has ever been on pay-per-view, but if it hasn't, that kind of says what Eddie Hearn's talking about. Plus, when you look at what kind of draw he is in the UK, Anthony Joshua we're talking about here, we're talking about clearly does the O2 Arena, we know that. So guaranteed to sell it over 20,000, we know that. But now, Wembley and the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, you're talking about a guy that does 90 and 80,000. I don't know if Deontay Wilder can ever do even a third or a quarter of that number. In fact, I don't think he can. Again, US fans hit me up if that's true. I don't think he can. So in terms of, on paper, what both bring to the table, do you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua kind of smokes Deontay Wilder. But in terms of both of them being a dance partner for each other, it's really good numbers. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the McGregor-Mayweather thing, where I always thought Mayweather needed a really good dance partner. He got one with McGregor, and that's why that thing just exploded. I think the way Deontay Wilder talks right now, and we've seen it recently in interviews, he's really come out of his shell. I think just in terms of his presence, his personality, it's a huge fight. And for that alone, you could argue it's a 50-50 fight. But on paper, in terms of financials, I can see what Eddie Hearn's talking about. But what do you guys think? A, the fight has to happen in the UK. I don't care what American fans say. Fuck the MGM or Madison Square Garden. That fight has to happen in the UK. And Eddie Hearn made a point of this. He said neither are a big star in the US. And I agree. Deontay Wilder isn't a big star in the US. Anthony Joshua isn't a big star in the US. Whereas Anthony Joshua is a huge star over here. And I think, I say over here, you know what I mean, in the UK. And I think Deontay Wilder, to an extent, is a big star over here as well. So I think the fight has to happen here. Gate revenue just from Wembley Stadium, 90,000 people, and it will be there. Or even the Millennium Stadium, you're talking, again, 90 to 100,000, just is massive. This is massive. So I think the fight has to happen here. But it's interesting. Eddie Hearn's talking next year, which it won't be. I think he's just saying that so people can stop saying that Anthony Joshua is ducking Wilder. But I think more realistically, we are talking 2019, probably even 2020, possibly even 2020. Deontay Wilder joked and said that Anthony Joshua's waiting for me to get old. And I don't know. I don't think AJ's waiting, but I think Eddie Hearn's waiting. I mean, you're talking Eddie Hearn has one cash cow. One cash cow, one big cash cow. The world of boxing probably only has a couple, and Eddie Hearn's got that one cash cow. You don't put that cash cow up against a guy that has a 96% or something KO record. You don't. You don't. And everyone said that Anthony Joshua's whiskers aren't great. I don't know about that. But you don't put that Anthony Joshua up right now against Deontay Wilder. You just don't do it. You wait. You wait. You wait. Almost similar to what Canelo and Golden Boy did with GGG. You wait until your guy gets better and Wilder slips a bit. And then you put him up. And that's what Eddie Hearn's going to do. Is it a duck? I don't know. I'll just call it strategic planning.